Hello guys, so today I'm going to be talking about why Loomian Legacy just isn't fun anymore. And I guess by extent Doodle World, I do enjoy Doodle World a bit more than Loomian Legacy. So I'm going to go over a few things, like I said, just why I don't have fun playing Loomian Legacy anymore. So the first thing is there's no updates. And no updates is not the issue, because I play games like CSGO, and those games never get any big updates. But the gameplay loop is a lot more enjoyable, so it's a lot more fun. The Loomian Legacy gameplay loop is not fun at all. It's not great at all. Sure, we're getting new updates, which improves that. Like we've got now the Atlantean Arcade Lucky Wheel. Yes, you can only do it once a day, but it adds a lot to the game. We have Sweet Retreat now, which is an event. It will be gone soon, at least I assume. Um, but there's Sweet Retreat, so that's more stuff you can do. But then once you like play everything, it starts to get boring. Like with the arcades, the disc drop can take like more than half an hour to complete. The dodgy Dobo takes like hundreds of attempts for some people to be able to beat the game. The UMV is another nice one. Again, once a day, but it gives players motivation to play and rejoin. But there's no fun core gameplay loop. Developing Lumians for PvP is a chore. And unless you want to cough out a lot of Robux for, or not a lot of Robux, unless you want to cough out some Robux though, for some CP, it's going to take you a long time to TP train every guy and everything you need to make your PvP team. Um, and then another thing is like trading. The trading community is really hard to get into. The base currency is gammas. Like if you have one gamma, you're considered poor in the LLTC or that's Twitter community, in the trading community, despite the fact that it takes some people hours to find a gamma because you have got a complete mastery for every Loomian. Then you've got to, well, not every Loomian. You got to complete the mastery for that Loomian to find it in gamma form, and then you've got to hunt down that Loomian. But if you find like, if you go into a route and you only have one Loomian there that's masteried, you can only find a gamma of that. So it's just like a big tedious pain in the ass. One thing you can do to help with that is just focus on getting all the masteries for one route that we can find all the gammas on that route and just work on that slowly but surely. Bring, some goals, but it's still a very, very tedious and unfun process to work on and to commit your time to. Another thing, I guess, that I just don't have fun with Loomian Legacy is just the community isn't the same. I don't know if it's because some of my friends have stopped playing Loomian Legacy, or just because I haven't had as like much, I guess, good conversations I've had with random players. Because before I can hop onto Loomian Legacy, and I can spend like an hour just having a conversation with a dude, just about random stuff. Sometimes about Loomian Legacy, sometimes about random stuff. Nowadays, there's none of that. I tried making videos on like Loomian Legacy voice chat. Nobody communicates. Nobody talks in text chat. It's just a boring community, at least in the game. Another thing I noticed is developers seem to hate talking to their fans. They just say, "Oh, we're not going to do anything," or well, they don't say that, but like, "Okay, we're going to help communicate more with the fans." Then they do nothing. Then Lucky HD is like, developers talk to us, and the developers like, "Okay, we will." They talk to us for like 3 days. Repeat. They go silent again. Um, I guess that hurts the community aspect because it just means there's less sense of community if there's less fans in the community who are tolerant of the devs not really talking to us. So that really hurts the game as well. Suggestions, I guess, to make Loomian Legacy more fun. I guess to make a better core gameplay loop, like make hunting more enjoyable. I think Doodle World is probably one of the best at the moment with how you have like the chain system. Um, I think just in general, that makes like hunting a lot more viable or like a lot better. Um, I know that would fuck up values, but the trading community can take an L every once in a while. Another thing would be to make mints. That would help a lot with building PvP guys. Something that could be cool is have a Pokemon Showdown game mode in the Coliseum. So basically, you can pick your team out of like a database. You can make them how you want, and you can like save a loadout or a lineup. That way you can just like test Lumians and before you build one. So you, like I said, you test some Lumians out, be like, okay, this is a good build, and then you build it instead of having to spend all the time to rally it and then spend all the time to TP train it or spend out Robux to get CP. to buy the gummies, and then you've gotta actually test it. And if it's bad, you just wasted all that time. If it's good, well then nice. But like I said, if it's garbage, if it's not how you thought it would be, then you just wasted potentially a few hours of work on just grinding away at TPs. Another thing that I noticed, well, another thing I noticed was some fun. It's just the events in general. I had fun with the maze, Halloween maze, but that was really the only event I really had fun with. I kind of liked the gift game, but I never really played too much of it. I just really liked the maze, but that's the only mini game I really enjoy. So maybe they can make more addicting mini games, I guess. Not sure. But back to things that LTS can do to improve the game. Another thing, I guess, is just focus a bit more on the community. Like a good community can carry a game much longer than a bad one, and you can't grow a community by being silent. I think it's quite unfortunate that the developers don't know how to use Twitter. Like I said in my previous, I think that's my previous video. Literally, all I have to do is be like, guys, Zulong's favorite food is ramen noodles or something like that, and then like, voila, random fact about like basic lore. Like there's some trainers who are like, Wevolt can charge phones. Why can't we learn about that on like Twitter and stuff? That way it's more interaction with the fans. Even if it's not about updates, it's still more interaction. You can be like, um, what's the water starter? The water starter, the water he produces is like the most pure water on Earth or something like that, or in Roria or something like that. There's some basic stuff like that that adds a bit, I guess, like a lore, even though it's not really lore, but adds a bit more like realism to the world. Because it doesn't make sense for a trainer to be like, Wevolt charges phones, but if it's on like Twitter, I guess it just makes more sense. It feels more natural. So that's something they can do. But in general, it's just community's not there. The gameplay loop is boring. Like I said, I don't need an update every day. I play CS:GO a shit ton. That game gets like almost no updates. I play Motorsport Manager a lot, which I started making videos on. That game hasn't been updated since I think like 2018. I still play it. Why? Gameplay loop is fun. Every race is different. Every CS:GO match is different. Every time you hunt for a Loomian, it's the same. Anytime you grind for a PvP match to get Loomians, it's the same. Now PvP matches are a different story, but the grind to get to PvP Loomians is a pain in the butt, and to get them in the trading resort is not common. So those are some of my thoughts about Loomian Legacy and why I just don't enjoy it. If you guys have similar opinions, let me know. If you guys have opposite opinions, also let me know. Comments are free. Get into arguments with me. I don't care. That'll be it. Peace.